So I'm super excited to be joined by Rayanne today, who is in my Momentum program. And Rayanne has kindly agreed to come on and share her experience of working with the program and what her life was like before and what it might be like in the future. Rayanne, welcome. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Thanks, Amanda.
So Rayanne, what would be super cool for those who are listening is if you could share a little bit about who you are, what kind of firm you run, and who it is that you help. That would be great, please.
Sure. So my company's name is Root2Growth, accounting and advisory. And I started about September 2019, so last year, and it is what now? It's December 2020.
Yeah.
And I started out because I've been working with clients for a few years and just very much an advisory outsource FD capacity, going in and doing app implementations and system improvements and doing marketing, budgeting and things like that.
Yeah.
And I just found from watching them with their relationships with other bookkeepers and accountants that they had a bookkeeper, they had an accountant, but they were still having to come to me for that help. Mm-hmm. So I thought, though, the people who are best positioned to do this are your bookkeepers and accountants. And I'm with ICAEW, and I just resisted the compliance like anything. And I thought to myself, you know what? I want to actually offer compliance in a way that's more hands-on and that then leads into those advisory relationships. Mm-hmm. So that was why in September last year, I was like, right, let's do this. Let's commit to compliance, but do it differently. So we are a zero-only practice. We are a huge Go Proposal fans. Yeah. And I feel like Go Proposal, because I joined them quite early on and I attended XeroCon in 2019. And I feel like that really shaped the way I wanted to take my business. So straight away from what I learned from that group in XeroCon, I committed to daily bookkeeping, being zero only, doing Go Proposal. So I really, and I'm center. So I got my practice, I got my systems and processes nailed. I got everything exactly how I wanted to deliver it. Back office was good because we're accountants. We can do the back office. Yeah. I had an HR consultant and things. But I kind of got to, it was about the summer, just before the summer. And I was like, you know what? I got the operation sorted. I got the back office sorted. And I had someone on social media sort of kicking out posts here and there. But there was no real structure to my marketing process. And it felt like something was just really missing. Like nothing, if you think about a business having sort of 3 pillars or whatever, it was kind of really missing that one element. Yeah. And it was this black box that I didn't understand. So yeah.
Awesome.
That's where I was before.
Yeah, that's great. So you had all your systems and processes sorted, and you were dabbling a little bit with social media, but it wasn't bringing you in the predictable lead flow or your ideal clients. Is that right?
There's no connection. Like the clients I had were through friends or friends of friends. And the networking that I was doing locally. So I was doing lots of networking locally, so that was taking up so much time. But my social media, I remember I've been, as I said, been running for a couple of years as an advisor and stuff. And I've been kicking out social media posts, and there genuinely wasn't any work that I could relate to the social media work I was doing.
Amazing. Okay, so felt a little bit stuck. With regards to deciding to move forward with the Momentum program and work with me, what was the kind of deciding factor that Momentum was for you and that I was your girl? What happened there?
It's funny because a lot of people have a story about how they've been watching your content for months and inboxing you, or there's some story, and I actually don't know. It's almost like I have amnesia. I don't know. I just decided, it was kind of thing. I was just like, I need to get marketing sorted. Yeah. Don't remember even, I hadn't attended any of your webinars or anything. And I was just like, just a lot of what you said resonated with me. I knew I needed to fix it. I'm aware of various coaches in the industry who can cover sales and marketing. But I just, from what I saw about what you did, and I suppose I was receiving your emails. So maybe it was your emails that kind of got me there, like the sequence of emails and things. And the one point that I remember resonated with me during the discovery and strategy calls was this idea that I could build this whole marketing strategy in my business that I could turn on and off like a tap. Mm-hmm. And that just really appealed to me, like to get some of that control back, because I was exploring doing acquisition of another firm because I just want the clients. I don't want to wait for the clients. So yeah, and so that idea just really grabbed me.
Amazing. And how long have you been in the Momentum program now? Can you remember?
Since June, so it must be coming up 6 months.
Okay.
If you get the value within the first, I started making crazy, amazing sales within the first month or two. Then I had to kind of I stopped Momentum for not stopped. I kept it ticking over in the background, but I kind of switched that tap off for September when I was quite overwhelmed. a couple of my staff came back from furlough who couldn't work because of kids at home. So kids turned in September, and I had to switch my marketing off, which I had that power to do, which I just wouldn't have known to do before.
Amazing. Yeah. And the great thing about it, as you say, is you can get the quick wins in the first sort of month or so, but then it's keeping up that momentum, which keeps the lead flow coming in, which is great.
Yeah, I was so shocked how quickly from when I started the momentum process, how I started having those conversations with clients. Yeah.
Why were you shocked? What do you think was the trigger that enabled those conversations to start happening?
So I suppose there's two questions. Why was I shocked was because people say these things, but I just couldn't believe it. Like, I paid, what was it, 2.5 for the momentum program, and I signed up a 1,500 a month client. And if I'd done an acquisition, I would have paid 1 to 1.4 times fees. So that client's worth what, like I don't know, what's 12 months times 1,500.
Yeah.
And so I was like, wow, this course has already paid for itself. Yeah. And what do I think was the tablet switch on? It's just the momentum process. So 2 things, niche.
Yeah.
So we could talk about that. And the second thing was just, I hadn't ever thought of using DMs. And even if I had thought or heard of it, because obviously you get approached in direct messages, I wouldn't have had the confidence to do it without the structure that momentum gave me to do that. Yeah.
And it not being salesy. That's something.
That's the thing. That's why I wouldn't have had the confidence. I get such salesy posts in DMs that I would just never consider that an option. But momentum, that whole process of being very niche, of being able to offer value, gave me the confidence to do that.
Amazing, amazing. And what's been like your biggest win from our time together? Because our time together continues, but what's been your biggest win so far? Would you say, like, oh, I'm so excited?
Probably, it's actually so hard to put myself back in that mindset from a few months ago, but I would never have imagined winning a £1,500 a month client. Like, you hear people talking about it, and I had a £500 a month client, which was like amazing, and I was like, oh, they're so precious, they're so special and everything. But when I started to win those bigger clients, I was like, oh my, like, so I couldn't believe that I was able to do that. But having that mindset and dreaming bigger, so seeing other people in the group hitting those bigger clients. And then again, also the niching. By niching, I would never have had the guts or the balls to niche. Yeah. But because Amanda's program kind of says, just pick a niche, go with it, you can change it in 6 months' time. But the program kind of following those steps and committing to a niche, it just kind of was the stepping stone to having those like more high value conversations with prospects.
Amazing, amazing. And what does the future look like for you, Rayanne? What are you excited about?
My plans, well, I'm really excited again because I feel like I can set growth targets, and I have a measurable way of seeing, am I on track? Like, I have a way of trying to meet those targets. And because the program kind of gives you such a structure, we know exactly what conversion to expect at different rates. So we can up it or down it. And so yeah, it's very much, as I mentioned, like tap on, tap off. So my plan is to grow. The current targets I have set with my team is to grow at £1,000 recurring monthly fees. So that's about adding on 12,000 to my annual GRR each month for the next year, in my second year. So that would be adding on about £140,000 to my top line in the next year. That's my plan.
And very easily doable. Yes. Very easily doable. So my final question is for those who are watching that are considering doing the Momentum program. What would you say to someone who was like, maybe I maybe can't afford it, or I'm not sure if it's the right thing for me? If it's an accounting firm or a bookkeeping firm that wants to grow their business, what would you say to them if they were on the fence about joining Momentum?
I mean, it all depends. Definitely, it gets you the clients. It's so hard when you're starting up, because I'm sure there's different books you could have read, like The Lean Startup, or there's Profit First, or so many of them that mention don't just like spend within your means. But I do feel that I don't actually quite know what to say here, because I was ready to spend the 2,500.
Yeah.
I had that money aside because I'd made some made some sort of big pieces of work. So I had the 2.5.
Yeah.
So, and I knew that the 2,500, like, you kind of not knew from what you had said to me, I knew I was going to get that 2,500 back. Like I said, even when I was telling my husband I'm spending 2,500, I was like, don't worry, I know I'm going to get it back. And I did, and that's been, I've got that more, like 10, you know what I mean? 10 times back that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I had that money I was ready to spend. So I don't know what I would say to someone. Like, if you're ready to commit to this, so I suppose what I would say is that if you're going to do this, it's not going to, you're not just going to get this course and you're going to get the clients rolling in. It takes the work. So if Amanda says it's like, I would say between watching the course and actually actioning things, you're talking about 2 to 3 hours a week. The ebook maybe a bit more when you get to like week 4. So that was a bit of a block for me, but I got past it. But you're only talking about, maybe if you attend some of the, you know, the weekly or 2 weekly chats every 2
Q&As,
But if you attend that call twice a week, you are looking at, you have to put in the time and be committed. But if you have the money and you can be committed, then it works. I've seen it work for myself. I've seen it work for other people on Momentum. So in terms of making that decision, just make sure that you are ready to take on all those clients and you have the capacity. But for me, it's a no-brainer.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you, Rayanne. And I just have to say, I talk a lot about vampire clients and then radiator clients that fill you with warmth. And I'm super grateful to have you on the program because you take action, you do the work, you're an absolute joy to work with. And I'm very, very grateful to have you on Momentum. So thank you. And thank you for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure.